Welcome shooters and collectors. Today we're going to be taking a look at two special high powers. A high power customized by Jim Hoag and a GP competition. Let's start with the Jim Hoag pistol. Jim Hoag is a California pistol smith who had his work featured on a Guns and Ammo issue back in '83. It features a 6-inch high power, as you can tell, or maybe be able to see. In the picture, this pistol has a Barstow barrel and a 6-inch slide. Very similar to the one that I have today. Really, when you look at this pistol, the first thing you will notice is the elongated slide. The work on it is extremely good, and about the only thing that you can see is a little bit of where the weld mark is, a discoloration or a different coloring in the bluing right there. Other than that, it's perfectly seamless. Like I said, a Barstow barrel is used for this, and the Barstow barrel actually has a little bit of a bell at the end, so it's a really nice tight fitting against the bushing, and really helps with the accuracy. Jim also installed a barrel bushing here that screws in and is held in place by a very tiny hex screw. The pistol came with this wrench, so you can easily remove this. And some of the other features, let's take a look at them. There's he had front checkering on the trigger guard, on the front strap, the back strap, and also a little difficult to see, but also on the slide here to help reduce glare. Whenever I'm looking around for firearms, going to either gun shows or in gun shops, one thing I always look for are the rear sights. And as you can tell, this is it looks like to be a Smith & Wesson style type rear sight. And if I find a firearm that has some where you can tell that a person has added a nice rear sight, more than likely they've also done some other nice work to the gun, and you should always pick that one up, take a good look at it, and see. You might really find a gem, and that would be a good giveaway that something has been done to the pistol. Additional things that were done to this high power is an extended safety. The hammer has been cut down a little bit to get rid of that nasty bite that you get sometimes if you have larger hands. And another thing that is very interesting that is this right here. The pin that holds in the magazine disconnector has been removed. There is no magazine disconnector in this pistol. And a pin that protrudes out comes out the back end here. It's a little bit difficult to see. But the pin also, the head, has been slightly ground down. And what this is an trigger over travel pin. So when you go to fire, let's see if I can show this well. It releases right there, and then the pin hits the frame, and it works great. And I've never seen that done before on high power, and I'm surprised other people haven't done that to their guns. It's extremely simple. You already have the hole there. You just need the right size pin to put in place and grind it a little bit to make it function perfectly. The mag well has also been beveled, and when I purchased the pistol, the gun came with these grips here, and I went ahead and put on these. I believe these are KSD grips, and they sort of have a thumb rest here, and it's on either side, which it doesn't really matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. It fits your hand great either way. And there's also a palm swell that helps fit your hand as well. They're great grips. They feel really well, and it looks like it's also set up for ambidextrous. If you have ambidextrous safety, you won't have an issue with that. Overall, The gun is really nice. It's really taken care of. Oh, one other thing. Usually when you get a high power, you shake it, it may rattle a little bit. This one, apparently he also tightened up the frame. It doesn't rattle whatsoever. It's very tight. The gun shoots well. Surprisingly though, the trigger pull is around 5 pounds. It's a little under 5 pounds, which seems a little bit heavy, you know. Typically I shoot anywhere between 2 to 3 pounds. This one is 5 pounds. It's all right. It probably could be a little bit better, but it is what it is, I guess. The second gun I'd like to show you is a FN GP competition. Very similar to the Jim Hoag in the respect that it's got a 6-inch barrel. There's a muzzle weight here, and it has adjustable rear sights that kind of look like they belong on an air rifle. The interesting feature of this gun, besides the 6-inch barrel and the muzzle weight, is there is a spring on the inside of the slide, and the spring presses down on the barrel to make a tighter fit, so it'd be inherently more accurate. The other thing I noticed about this pistol, again, it doesn't have a magazine disconnector. That hole isn't there. And really, other than that, the frame to slide is pretty tight. It isn't as loose as some other Brownings that I've held, or FNs. There's no magwell beveling or anything like that. It seems to be just another regular high power. The one thing that surprised me though, the trigger on this is about 3 pounds 10 ounces, which came in less than the Jim Hoag, which that did surprise me. I will tell you, if you do buy one of these and you take the slide off just to clean it, look at it, when you go to put the slide back on, you'll get it on, and you'll get it on about 2/3 of the way, and it'll just stop. And it'll stop. And you'll look at it, you look into the inside, you can't figure it out. Because the spring is here, you have to push down on the barrel a little bit to get this part to rise up to go in. Otherwise, you'll just sit there all day and it won't want to go. But this is a really nice pistol. When you consider that Brownings go between about $850 to $1,200, depending on what they are exactly. And these really don't command that much more of a price. It's a real bargain for the collectability, the shootability of the gun. It's enjoying to shoot. It's nice to have something a little bit different, of course. And it might be something you really want to put on a list to look for. They do come in I've seen them in the slides in the little different finishes from time to time. But other than that, they all pretty much look like this. And you may want to keep a watch out for that. These will be probably easier to find than a Jim Hoag. The Jim Hoag is pretty difficult. You do see them, and but they are a little bit more difficult to find. I should also mention with the Jim Hoag, I didn't do that. When you're looking at one, maybe not all of them have the 6-inch barrel. They have a 5-inch barrel, and they have a one good giveaway that it's a Jim Hoag, besides having his name stamped on the slide, is the checkering, especially on the front. A lot of gunsmiths will tell you you can't checker the front grip of a high power because there's not enough metal there, and you do have to see it is awfully thin. But apparently that isn't true because Jim managed to do it. The second thing you can look for, if you suspect it might be a Jim Hoag pistol, is if they allow you to do it, sometimes gun shops or at the gun show they get a little upset if you start poking around too much, but take the slide off, flip it over, and right there is his stamp. I don't know if he stamped all his pistols, but this one is stamped, so there's no doubt about that. It's his. With the checkering and everything else, it's a great pistol. I wouldn't exactly call it a unicorn gun because you can find them, but if you do come across one, seriously take a look at it. When you think that high powers, like I said, go between $825 and $1,200, and you may be able to find one of these for like in the $1,800–$1,900 range, it's a no-brainer. It really is. You're getting a lot of customization. And today, you can't even have that done. You know, if you have a gunsmith do stuff, it's pretty darn expensive. The other thing, when I did buy the gun, it came with the wrench, and it also came with an extra bushing and a few screws as well. I have two other pistols I'd like to show you that I was able to borrow since they are high powers. The first one is a high power, looks like a plain Jane, you know, pistol. It's got the slot for the shoulder stock, it's got the tangent sights, but you may notice it's got this red lettering here. And it's got red lettering here, it's got some red paint on the rear side, it's got it on the magazine, it's got it in several places. And this is known as a pistol de-manipulation. And since it's in, I believe, French, it's probably for the French forces to teach the troops, to train the troops on the gun. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. And it's just an interesting piece. You don't see these very often. If you ever came across one of these, I'd definitely buy it. It'd definitely be, of the three so far, I'd say it'd be the hardest one to find. I don't think I've ever seen one recently come up for sale, but this one is a nice model, and it is. The second one I'm going to show you is also another Browning high power with tangent sights and the slotted stock. This one looks pretty much like the other one I just showed you. However, it has one little thing on it that makes it extra special, and that is right here. This is the Lithuanian seal, and this was a Lithuanian high power contract pistol. And overall, it's in really good shape. It's pretty much like all the other high powers you ever see that, you know, have all these features. The one thing that is a little bit different on the rear sights, on the tangent, the numbers are a little bit different. This one goes up to 500 here. I believe they said that they used to go to 1,000 meters, but then, so that's why they had the extra space. But on this one, it went to 500 all the way. The other thing, since this was a World War II carryback, the other thing that I noticed about this gun is it's got 7 notches in the grip here. I assume that's because they probably got 7 people with it. I'm not really exactly sure, but I don't know why else you would do that to a grip. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a few things. Please leave comments below. Please subscribe. You hear that all the time. This is my first video. If I get 100 subscribers, I'm going to do another video on the Walther P88 Champion and Competition. I was able to get a hold of 2 of those they're kind of a rarish pistol and very interesting, and a lot of features that are you don't really hear about, and probably should know about before you purchase one. So if you do like it, please subscribe, and I get 100 subscribers, I'll do another video. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.